Guys, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to my live Monday Night Raw review. Raw just went off the air here for the February 5th, 2018 edition of Raw, as we are less than, 62 some days until WrestleMania. It's hard to believe. It's coming up fast. It'll be here before you know it. And if we keep getting episodes like tonight and last week, it could be a good road to WrestleMania, because I thought this was a good edition of Raw, which featured some good matches, some slow storyline build progression to WrestleMania, building to the Elimination Chamber, setting up both Elimination Chamber matches. There was a lot that we got out of Raw tonight. Like I said, 3 hours can work if WWE utilizes it to its fullest potential. So this was a good edition of Raw. The only minor nitpick that I have from this episode of Raw is the crowd. Raw tonight was live from Des Moines, Iowa, and they were flat. The crowd was just flat, and it took away from the show for me a little. I was just asking myself, why aren't these people reacting? Now, they had their moments, but it was few and far between. And just coming out of the gate early, there was just no life to this crowd. Usually, I don't really harp on the crowd, but tonight it did kind of affect my enjoyment of the show. But with that being said, we kick things off with in-ring action. For once, we actually start Raw with, we start a wrestling show with a wrestling match. And before we get into that, guys, TN Couponer, thank you for joining me. Live chat will be open. Thank you guys, like I said, for tuning in and watching live. So as we go through Raw, we break it down, leave your comments, leave your thoughts in the live chat. And thank you for the thumbs up. So anyways, kick things off with a good match between Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt. I think it's impossible for Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt to have a bad match. They just have really good chemistry, two guys with athletic backgrounds. And remember this, they both had football playing careers. They both played the game. And it showed in a match like this. Hard-hitting, physical, spot where Bray Wyatt kicked out of the Superman punch. Nice. Reigns kicks out of the Sister Abigail. And, of course, Reigns hits a spear. Really no surprise here. I knew the outcome was predictable, but I just wanted a good match. And, hey, we got a good match here. And it was nice to kick off Raw, like I said, not with a 20-minute promo, but instead with a wrestling match. So after the match, we had Matt Hardy. He appeared in the ring, hit a twist of fate on Bray Wyatt. I really want this Bray Wyatt-Matt Hardy feud to go to the next level. Let's do stuff at the Hardy family compound, the Wyatt family compound. There's just so much material here. Vanguard 1. Let's think outside of the box and not just have Matt and Bray laugh at each other. That's fine for 1 week, but let's really think of something different. That's what I'm waiting for. Like I said, I think a feud between these two can work, but so far what we've gotten up to this point, guys, it's just been kind of there. If you guys enjoy it, more power to you, but I really I want to see, what type of story can truly be told between these two guys. I think it could bring out the best in Matt Hardy, obviously, Broken Matt, and I think it could bring out the best in Bray Wyatt. But as of now, it's just kind of there. So we'll see what happens there. Speaking of kind of there, one thing that I didn't really care for on this show was the Revival. The Revival faced Finn Balor and Carl Anderson. Kind of random here, just seeing the Balor Club. I mean, they got a win here. It was against the Revival, who I wouldn't have had to take a loss here. That's just me. I mean, they just got 2 wins under the belt. They beat the Club. And then last week, I forget who the hell they faced, but they got a win. It might have been Slater and Rhino. Could be wrong, but yeah, it's just I thought they were building the Revival up, and maybe they still are, but they get a loss here. I'm like, all right, the Club wins, what have you, but that just kind of felt random and thrown together here. But I do have to say, there was one thing announced later on in the show that I'll talk about right now. So we had Drew Ono, Cena, Balor. We had Matt Hardy taking on Elias, and tonight we had Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt and Apollo Crews versus The Miz, all qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber. The losers of those matches will be in a Fatal 4-Way match next week. So we got Finn Balor, Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, and Apollo Crews. And the winner of that match will advance into the 6th and final spot for the Elimination Chamber. So my theory is the reason that they're doing this is because it was rumored to be Jason Jordan competing in the Elimination Chamber. Obviously, he's dealing with some serious neck problems. So hopefully everything works out for Jason Jordan. Would hate to see somebody like that, young in his career, be suffering neck injuries. That's just a damn shame. So hopefully everything is all right with him. But hopefully this means that Finn Balor gets in that Elimination Chamber. Because I was disappointed to see that he lost to Cena, but being as this is a second chance fatal four-way match next week on Raw, my pick is Finn Balor to advance into that final spot. So that would be really, really great to see for Finn. Kind of give him some type of direction. But speaking of direction, there was a tease backstage between Sasha Banks and Bayley. Sasha was looking over the match, the great match that her and Asuka had, and she looked dejected at that finish of Asuka making her tap out. And, Bayley says she knows she can beat Sasha Banks, and if Sasha is good enough to beat Asuka, then so is Bayley. So kind of teasing dissension in the ranks between Sasha Banks and Bayley. First time in a long time that I've actually cared about what Bayley's been doing. Obviously, Sasha's been teasing some heel tendencies, which I'm hoping we get the heel boss back, because that is the best Sasha Banks, in my opinion. She's just been kind of there. Same with Bayley. I think Sasha Banks versus Bayley being teased. Do you guys think it'll happen at WrestleMania? Not quite sure. Maybe it's just... who knows? I don't know what could happen, but anything can happen, I guess. But I did like that tease there. We had a Cruiserweight match. I didn't watch it, so we're just going to move on. We had Kurt Angle. He came down to the ring to make a historic announcement. For the first time ever, we're going to have the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and these are going to be the participants in the match. Alexa Bliss defending our Women's Championship against Bayley, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, and Sasha Banks. Now, this was the interesting part here. Kurt said that Nia Jax is not in the match, but she will face Asuka. And if Jax wins, she will be added to the championship match at WrestleMania, making it a triple threat match. Now, I was like, hold on here. One, I'm confused as to why Nia just isn't in the chamber. Two, I'm confused as to why. So Asuka can pick either Raw or SmackDown. So if Asuka loses and then picks SmackDown, what the hell's the point of it being a triple threat? I thought Asuka can pick whoever she wants. To me, it just felt kind of random, kind of thrown out there. Just like, okay, I guess it gives something Nia and Asuka to do, but still, to me, the stipulation left me scratching my head. I'm like, okay, whatever, we'll see, but weird. That's all I can say about that. Just weird. We had Alexa Bliss come out. She confronted Kurt Angle. She said he's pretty much being a sexist pig. Why should she have to defend her championship when Brock Lesnar doesn't? And she has a good point there. Why doesn't Brock Lesnar have to defend his championship? And of course, we all know why Brock Lesnar doesn't have to defend his championship, because he's Brock Lesnar. He can do whatever the hell he wants to. We've known this for years now. Brock does whatever Brock wants to do. And she says, pretty much what the point of this that I got was, it looked to me like Alexa Bliss was trying to weasel her way out of the Elimination Chamber match. Of course, Kurt defers to the crowd. He says, do you guys want to see the Elimination Chamber? First ever women's chamber match. And the crowd finally woke up from their comatose state. Seriously, I've heard better reactions. It's just awful. I mean, this crowd, I'm sorry, I hate to rag on the crowd again, but they were just terrible tonight. But the crowd goes, yes, yes, yes. I'm excited for the first ever women's Elimination Chamber match. I enjoyed the women's Royal Rumble. Thought that was well done. So hopefully the women deliver here in a high-profile spot once again. But it was interesting seeing Alexa come out. And of course, Kurt brought up the fact that, well, you haven't defended your championship since TLC, which is something that I forgot. I mean, we've seen Alexa Bliss wrestle, but we haven't seen her necessarily defend that championship. And that's quite a long time, from October to February. That's the problem with WWE, when they have this 30-day rule, which is such BS. It's like, if you're going to have the rule, just enforce the rule. If you're not going to enforce the rule, then don't have the rule. So, and then later on in the show, we had Mickie James, skipping ahead here, Mickie James versus Sonya Deville. Decent match. The only interesting thing out of that was after the match, after Mickie won, Alexa came out and helped Mickie out of the ring from a beatdown by Absolution. So that was interesting. Kind of confusing seeing Mickie James and Alexa Bliss together. Although my theory is Alexa's trying to get some type of alliance here going into the Elimination Chamber, and then she'll use that to her advantage and then stab those people that she develops an alliance with in the back. So that was interesting. Speaking of a good part of the show, though, I have to say Bayley and Asuka wasn't as good as Sasha versus Asuka, but this was still a good match. Asuka looked like a freaking beast. This was the most competitive that I've seen Bayley in quite a while here on Raw. I actually care about Bayley for once, which is a shame because she was one of my favorites to watch on NXT, and just the way to see her being misused here on the main roster. Hopefully they get things going right, with Bayley, but she looked competitive in there against Asuka. Of course, you knew once Asuka got the Asuka locked in, there was no choice for Bayley but to tap out. But she put up a good fight. She put up a fight longer than I thought she'd be in there for. Didn't come close to the matches that they had in NXT, but for a Raw match, this was good stuff. Like I said, the Raw Women's Division compared to SmackDown, to me, NXT still is the best when it comes to the Women's Division in WWE. But Raw has been interesting since coming out of the Royal Rumble. SmackDown, don't even ask me. I have no idea what's going on that show. To be honest, I haven't watched SmackDown in 4 weeks now. Yeah, that's not good. Maybe I'll watch tomorrow, guys. Is there anything worth tuning in tomorrow for SmackDown? I want to care, but I only have so much time. It's like I can only give 3 hours of Raw, a pay-per-view every month. It's just like NXT, the mixed match. It's just, to me, there's too much. It's overkill. But that's just me. If you like SmackDown, more power to you. But I just really haven't cared about it in quite a long time. We had The Miz come down and talk about how 2018 is going to be the year of The Miz. He says why Raw 25 was the highest rated Raw in 3 years. Well, it was because of The Miz, of course. And The Miz winning the Intercontinental Championship. He took the credit for the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. This guy's ego is so big, it's incredible. Miz as a heel is fucking phenomenal. Just so easy to hate. Don't make Miz babyface, because if you guys remember, 2013, Miz as a babyface, bad idea. Just saying. I remember that. He said he's going to go into WrestleMania, and he's going to become the first ever Universal and Intercontinental Champion. To me, when I hear a world champion and an Intercontinental Champion, it takes me all the way back. Just watch this match on the network. Well, let me tell you something, brother. Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. Champion versus champion. Great fucking match. WrestleMania 6. So much history there. One of my favorite main events of all time. That's the first thing that popped into my head when I heard Miz say Universal Intercontinental Champion. Instant classic. Hogan Warrior. Doesn't get much better. So this qualifying match between The Miz and Apollo Crews, I enjoyed this. It really highlighted Apollo's athleticism. God, if this guy had a character, it would take him to the next level. That's all he's missing. He has all the tools in the toolbox. He put up a good fight here against The Miz. He's just so athletic and agile with his kicks and his, standing moonsault, with the leapfrog. But of course, The Miz caught him into the skull-crushing finale. Crotched him on the top rope, and then, like I said, that's set up for the skull-crushing finale. So Miz advances into the Elimination Chamber. So we got The Miz, we got Elias, we got Roman Reigns, who advanced earlier on tonight, John Cena, and that leaves one more, and Braun Strowman, and one more spot open. So it'll be interesting to see who wins that Fatal 4-Way next week here on Raw. So backstage, it was supposed to be Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins taking on The Bar in a rematch for the Raw Tag Team Championships. But as we all know, Jason Jordan, he's undergoing some neck problems. I hope everything's all right with him. Not sure how severe that's going to be or how long he'll potentially be out, but this led to Seth teaming up with Roman Reigns, which was actually something I like to see. We've seen Seth and Dean for so long, but I was like, can we get Roman in the mix there? And they never did that up until this point now. So Roman teamed up with Seth, wrestled his second match of the night. This was a pretty good match here. Nice little match between The Bar, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. And when Rollins got that hot tag for, he's the hometown boy from Des Moines, Iowa. He was on fire here. I love seeing Seth Rollins. He makes one of the best comebacks in WWE, and it makes me long and yearn for Seth Rollins to be put back into that main event spot. It's been a while since he's been there. He's been in the tag team mix and what have you, but I would love to see Rollins reinserted back into that main event. He's so fucking good. And props to Reigns for wrestling 2 matches tonight, too. Got to give him credit. Him and Bray Wyatt, good opener, and then later on, this was a good match here between The Bar and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Fortunately, they weren't able to capture the championships due to referee disqualifying Rollins and Reigns when Jason Jordan, who came down later on in the match, attempted to stop Sheamus and Cesaro from walking out with their championships, and that's when the ref called for the bell, led to the disqualification. And after the match, Kurt Angle was furious, and so was Rollins. He called Jason Jordan the son of a bitch. Kurt Angle threw him out of the building. He said, go home, heal up, and I don't even want to see you anymore. So I'm not sure what they're doing here. I thought we'd be building towards Rollins versus Jordan because Ambrose got hurt, and obviously we're not going to be doing that till later on, maybe in the summer. But if Jordan's out, I'm not quite sure what you do there. So yeah, interesting stuff. We had Nia Jax take on a local jobber. One impressive thing about this was Nia picking up the jobber and press slamming her. She got some damn good height on that. And after the match, I actually have to say that I like the promo here that Nia cut. She said she's the only woman in the locker room who Asuka doesn't fear. She says Jax is going to mess up Asuka's face permanently, and she's going to have to wear that mask. She's going to mess up her face, so she has to wear that mask permanently, I should say, and that she's not going to be the Empress of tomorrow, but of yesterday. So I talked about that, and let's talk about the main event. Triple threat. The winner will be the final participant. Or should I say they will enter the Elimination Chamber last. We had Elias versus Cena versus Strowman. And to my surprise, Elias Sampson pinned John Cena on Raw. I was shocked. I thought for sure Strowman was going to win this match. But out of nowhere, Strowman power slammed Cena, and Elias pushed Strowman out of the ring and pinned him. I was like, holy shit, Elias got the rub here in the main event. I mean, he is doing very well for himself on the main roster. I'd love to see him have a big moment at WrestleMania. Rock concert, just saying. Would love to see The Rock interrupt Elias' concert. We didn't get it at Raw 25, but I want to see it at the grand stage of WrestleMania. So Elias wins here, and then after the match, Strowman just clears house and lays down multiple power slams on both Cena and Elias. And when Strowman was just standing there kind of, egging the crowd on, I don't know if you guys thought this, but he kind of reminded me of Hogan a little bit. I thought he was going to put the hand up to the ear and be like, just do the pose. For some reason, he reminded me of Hogan tonight. Don't know why. Don't ask. But great seeing Braun tear shit up to end the show, and that's how we end Raw. Like I said, this was a good Raw. There's some parts, but for the most part, I was enjoyed throughout the 3 hours. It set the table for the Elimination Chamber, what is to come. It's building slowly towards WrestleMania, and if this keeps up, WWE, please keep this up. We can have a good road to WrestleMania. So for my grade for Raw tonight, I'm giving it a B. So yeah, that does it for this live review for Monday Night Raw, guys. Make sure to leave your comments down below. What did you like about Raw? What didn't you like? What grade would you give it? All that good stuff, as you all know how it works here. And remember, please click that like and subscribe button here on youtube.com/DanielGuys412. Help continue this channel to grow. We are at 331 subs. My goal is 400. Thank you to all new and existing subscribers to continue to help this channel grow. Be sure to check me out on Twitter at DanielGuys412. And that pretty much does it for this review, guys. I want to say thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video, whenever that may be. So until then, take care, guys.